Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. What a result. Manchester is red and Manchester United have beaten Manchester City in one of the most dramatic Manchester derbies we've seen for a long time, where progress is the word. Progress is the word. It's all I wanted. I think it's all many Manchester United fans wanted from today. And ideally you want that 3 points. But look, at 1-0 down, I'd have took a draw. Of course I would. And I would have called it progress because it's the ability to fight back. There's so much to get into. The way we approached that game, the way Man City had over 70% possession, the controversy over the equaliser. You know, what do you ultimately think about that game? Was it a bit smash and grab? Was it tactically brilliant? Was it, lucky? Was it, many things? But it was progress. It was progress to win. And you've got to be ruthless. You've got to be ruthless. This is so important. I look at that United side over the last few years, and when Man City score that goal with Grealish, you start to plunge down to all the previous experiences, and you go, we won't even get a draw out of this. They've ground us down. They've got the goal, and that's it. We're finished now. And we did get a bit of luck. There's no doubt about that. But to get the luck, you've got to have the desire. And the ruthlessness was there. And you've got to be ruthless. Have to be ruthless. And one thing that Ten Hag has given this team is that they are ruthless. It's like, I don't know. It's like, your boss is being attacked by a crocodile, right? And you think, oh, I better go and help them. They're going to have all sorts of injuries. And then on the way there, on the way to help them, your phone pings, you look at it, you've just got your dream job. Well, I'm off. I start straight away. Leave your old boss and go and fulfill your talents. And that's what United need to do. You've got to be ruthless in those situations. Sod that. You should have paid me better wages. You shouldn't have treated me like shit. I'm off. I'm off to better things. And United have got that ruthless streak now. And in competitive sport, you've got to be ruthless. And people will be saying, poor person's being attacked by a crocodile. Let someone else help him. They've been all right, shit, boss. I want a future. I want to be ruthless. I'm not dwelling in the past anymore. I'm not, patching up, putting plasters on wounds. I want what's best for Manchester United and what's best for me. And those players and Erik Ten Hag, they've got that. And if we'd lost that game today, I think mentally, I mentioned this in the week, I keep being asked all the time, are we going to get top four? Are we going to get top four? Don't forget to do your player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being average. I think it's going to be really interesting. But I keep getting asked all the time. Thanks for the members, Kia. He's gifted 10. Mark, good to see you. Glory, glory, Man United. Well done, says Butterpants. Oh, good to have you back. I'm having a beer, says Matthias. I am as well. Mark, get in there, my boy. Just like Rashford, Manchester is red, says Paul Woolley. I think that, in a game like that, so many times people will say, we're going to win the title now. We'll definitely get top four now. And I said in the week, I still don't put us in the top four because I think the volume of games, the lack of squad depth, and I don't know what the mentality of these players are yet, because I don't think we've been through a bad run. We had 2 bad results at the start of the season, and we've been pretty much on a good run since then. I know we lost to Villa, but we were tired. We lost to Man City, but it's Man City. I think if we lose that game 1-0, you're like, oh God, here we go. They have a setback and, they down tools. But we already saw in the game today, they don't do that. So if people say to me, are United going to get top four now? I'd say the only reason we won't get top four is because of the board. We clearly need more players. Rashford somehow managed to get through that game when I thought he needed to come off. So well done to him. Martial comes off and the way we play changed completely. Bruno moving to 10 probably won us the game with Garnacho coming on as well. There's not really any midfield changes you can make. There's not really any changes you can make anywhere in that team. And I think we're not halfway through the season yet. So one way you could say, we're not halfway through the season yet. We could win the league. You could also say, we're not halfway through the season yet. If we pick up a couple of injuries, we're screwed. So massively exciting. I think it only enhances your chance of getting top four, of course. But I don't think I want to label that yet. I want to label progress. And I think that's all Ten Hag can do. Label progress. If we can keep everybody fit somehow, then we can obviously achieve great things this season. Nan says, Ten Hag deserves credit for instilling discipline, mentality and ruthlessness. What a team. Great. Welcome to Members Club, Will. If we beat Arsenal, will you be in the top 4 clubs? Says Paul. And UK Enterprise, thanks for being a member as well. Look, I ain't thinking about Arsenal because one thing that supporting Man United over the last 10 years has taught us is you've got to enjoy these things. You've got to enjoy the now, because if we lose to Arsenal next week, this result won't mean anything now. Because so enjoy it. What I mean is enjoy now, enjoy today, enjoy the weekend. It's a big thing to beat Man City. It doesn't happen all the time, and it certainly doesn't happen often when you're building something. Solskjaer did it, but you knew we were never building anything. We're building something. We've just beat Man City. There's progress there. Let's enjoy it. I don't want to talk about Arsenal, because if you start thinking about Arsenal, you won't enjoy now, and then if we lose next week, that will be disappointing. So we've just got to... And Palace is first. Palace is first. I said if we can take 7 points from Man City, Palace and Arsenal, it would be remarkable. So look, I'm going to enjoy the night. I'm going to enjoy the day. Bradley, keeping the neighbours up in Australia. Lovely stuff. Everyone will be getting a 10 from me. All of them did their job superbly well, says Dejan. Absolutely love seeing all the names in the chat that were trash talking Ten Hag, and the lads in the midfield are now praising them all. Eat your hatchy prats. Love you, says Stewie. Couple of members, Jay and Curtis as well. What was that from there? So proud of our guys and our manager, says Billy. Showed grit and growth. Oh, and don't forget, back the manager and don't let the door hit you on the way out, says Billy Welsh. Exactly. Look, I think it was when we went 1-0 down, I think this is the one thing I wanted to say. A couple of ththings I want to say about, well, let's discuss the game. Bloody hell, it's a match reaction. Let's discuss the game and let's do the player rating. So I thought first half, 0-0 was the right score at half-time. Man City had a lot of possession. We had the better chances, but they were all half chances. They weren't clear cuts. So 0-0 half-time. Our approach was very much be organised and pounce on mistakes. It was counter-attacking, but then it wasn't like Solskjaer. Solskjaer used to play a deep line, took everybody in close together and hit long balls. If you watched our defensive line in the first half, it was like a yo-yo. It was back and forth because we were playing games. We were trying to invite Man City to hit balls in behind them, we'd step back. Then we were trying to push forward so that they couldn't play in between the midfield and the attack. The defensive line was really intelligent throughout the whole first half. Observe it. It was really good. Second half, the importance of Martial was absolutely apparent. In the first half, Martial was occupying the centre-backs. And the front three were defending from the front very, very well. In the second half, Martial came off. I think Anthony went into the middle. Rashford didn't look like he could run. And Kyle Walker was doubling up with Mahrez on Malacia, which forced Fred to come across, which gave De Bruyne more room. Also, Anthony couldn't occupy their centre-backs. So they were stepping forward, higher line, and they were stepping forward with the ball, which was giving Man City more and more options. And the goal for Man City was coming. They started to... I think at half-time it was about 67% possession. Before they scored, it went up to about 74%. So they just took control of the ball. They took control of the game. We started to lose the runners. And then ultimately the goal came from the fact that Wan-Bissaka lost his man completely on the back post, which happens a lot. And we're 1-0 down, and then you think we're screwed because we've lost control of the game before the goal, and now they've got the goal. How do we get back into it? And Ten Hag made a really clever change. Eriksen was getting dominated. He got booked. He took him off. He put Bruno into the number 10 position. Garnacho came on as well. But the game changed when Bruno went to number 10 because suddenly we had more energy in the midfield. And it galvanised Fred and Casemiro. And we started to play a little bit more on the front foot. And then we got the goal, which, look, I'm not going to spend time talking about that. I think if United conceded that goal, I would lose my shit. But if United score the goal, you lose your shit in another way. I mean, Rashford's all over that ball. I mean, he's basically guarding it through to Bruno. I mean, he is interfering, but I don't know what the rule is. So, it's a goal. And it's 1-1. And then suddenly, Man City are all over the place. Their heads all over the place. Oh, we've conceded a goal we shouldn't have conceded. We've worked so hard to get into the game. And United's game management just kicked in. Man City lost their heads. They're like, how is it 1-1? We've worked so hard. We've broken them down. We've conceded a goal that's dodgy. And they lost their heads. And then Man United went, quick, 1-2. We did it to Arsenal. Exactly the same thing. Arsenal equalised against us. They thought they had the game. game management from Ten Hag. He made a change. He brought Ronaldo in. Rashford started making diagonals and we won the game. Same thing happened. We're losing the game. Ten Hag makes a tactical change. Bruno comes into 10. Maybe we're a bit lucky with the equaliser, but we weren't lucky with the second goal. Man City lost their head. We kept ours 2-1, and then we game managed it out. So, you know, I think across 90 minutes, the right team won. You can say that Man City were a bit unlucky. You can say that Man City lost their heads. You can say all sorts of things. But ultimately, we won the game 2-1. We didn't draw the game because of the dodgy goal. We won the game 2-1. You know, dodgy things happen in football. Whether it's right or wrong, it happens. It's what happens after that. We were mentally stronger than Manchester City. Now, if that's not progress, what is? We were mentally stronger than Manchester City when it mattered, and that's all that matters. After everything we went through last year, this one just feels amazing. Is it okay to shed a tear, says Oz. It's progress, mate. Enjoy it. Have a glass of water. Have a glass of wine. Whatever takes your fancy. Have an aero. Go for a run around the park with your top in the air. You know, just enjoy it. I'm telling you now, I've seen United win Champions Leagues. I've seen us win the league. I've seen us win European Cups. The cold, harsh fact is that you've got to enjoy the good times if they are good times. And people will laugh at us and say, oh, you're enjoying a win against Man City. Oh, yeah, we're enjoying a win against our City rivals who've been dominating football for ages, who are only 1 point ahead of us with an amazing squad. We're the worst ever Premier League side we've ever had, and we're achieving that 6 months, 7 months later. It is worth it. All I wanted was progress. All we want is progress. And we want top 4. We want to win trophies. We want to win the league. But progress is so important, and that is what we got today. And you know what we also did? I don't want Man City to win a treble. I don't want Man City to win 3 Premier Leagues in a row, because we did that. I don't. Here's a clip for you. I don't like Arsenal. They are a rival, but I want Arsenal to win the league. If we don't win the league, which I don't think we can, I want Arsenal to win the league. I don't want Man City to win the league. I don't want them to win 3 Premier Leagues in a row. That's one of our records. And if they don't win the league, they can't win another treble. And then hopefully next year, we can start being the team that stops Man City winning the leagues. At the moment, we're reliant on other people. I want Arsenal to win the league. I want Arsenal to win the league. I want us to win the league. I don't think we can, but I don't want Man City to win it. And we've just done that. Huge call bringing Martial off at half-time. Few days rest and getting ready for Palace. I'm so proud of the lads, says Charlie. We managed the game. Look at City's shots. Bruno was closer to the ball, so it was deemed he was always going to get it. Everyone did their job, says SK. Look, in relation to the offside goal, can I just say, it's been given. Whether it's controversial or not, it's been given. It's not going to get changed. The result's not going to change. If we got away with it, we got away with it. If it was technically right by the law, it was technically right by the law. I don't care. You know, I'm sure Ten Hag would say the same. I ain't talking about it. You know, whether it's right or wrong, I ain't talking about it. We move. And we move towards Palace. That's what we do. And then Arsenal. But we have to enjoy the now. It's 3 points. It's 3 massive points. This is the first time in a decade that I really feel we are building something. There's an actual horizon. Thank you, Ajax. This is priceless, says Mario. Do people even fathom how good of a team Ten Hag has turned us into? If you don't back this manager, you wouldn't even back a friend in a sticky pot, says Andreas. I just want to say, you know, I could say it about myself, but I'll say it about you. I remember last March where no ex-player was saying Ten Hag. No journalist or media was saying Ten Hag. It was like, it was an obsession from the fan base to get Ten Hag. Nobody else wanted him. No one in the media. No ex-players wanted Ten Hag. It was 100% driven by the fans, driven by you. Now, whether the club listened to that or not, probably not. I don't know. But we ended up with him, and who was right? You know, because he's got so much support in this fan base, and it's fantastic. You know, it's a manager that everyone's behind who's got no connection to Man United. He didn't play for Man United. He's never managed in the Premier League. He's coming externally, and he's doing a great job. Ten Hag genius substitutions, totally worth getting up at 4 a.m, says Min. Casemiro finally proved he's better than Rodri. That tackle in the box on Haaland at the end was truly world class. They even thought it was a pen. Swivel on that, City fans, says Gamer Reaper. If you even exist, well organised, progress and another win. Cheered me up. Been ill for the last few days, says Gamer. I hope our new striker can do what Martial does, because we see how we out him. We are not the same, says Revy. And Wan-Bissaka has been incredible since Christmas. Malacia has having a better match score is crazy. United will struggle to find a better player to understudy Delo. Keep him, says Drown. We'll talk about it in the player ratings. I don't want to be negative, but he nearly cost us the game. He did. He can't defend the back post. And Pep Guardiola was very intelligent to exploit that. But ultimately, it didn't matter. I want to give huge credit to Fred and Malacia. Won't be the biggest talking points after this game, but both had good games. Oh, they will, Joe. They will. I won't let that not be said. I said before the game, the potential weakness was Malacia against Mahrez, and it wasn't. Lloyd, welcome to the Members Club, and so many Man of the Match contenders, says Akash. I haven't got a bloody clue about Man of the Match, actually. Should we do player ratings? Let's get straight into that now. So difficult to pick player ratings and Man of the Match. So if you want to get involved, links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Let's make sure we hit 10,000 likes. Please smash a like on the video. We've got nearly 70,000 people watching. It's a massive result for Manchester United. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. And imagine if we had Pochettino right now. All the ex-players wanted Ten Hag. This win is for the fans more than anything, says X-Skids. I just hope that Ten Hag is aware how much the fans wanted him and how much they support him, because he's been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Let me just turn, the TV's just turned itself off, and I don't want a blue face. I'm not a Smurf. They say we have playing big teams. We've beaten Arsenal, City, Liverpool and Spurs, says Ray. All at home as well. Thanks for reminding us about that, Ray. I know it's at the Emirates next week, but we've beaten Spurs, Liverpool, City and Arsenal all at home. We have, well, Ten Hag has turned Old Trafford into a place where we win, which wasn't always the case. Juho, welcome to the Members Club. And where was Haaland? Probably talking to Ollie. We pocketed him, says Vignesh. Hey, Varane, Luke Shaw. I said it at half time, and I probably wouldn't have said this, so I will say it again. If you know football, Martial was a massive loss at half time. If you know football, Rashford's inability to be able to track Walker back, probably because he was carrying an injury, was a big blow. But one thing Man City couldn't do throughout the whole game, and they normally can, is they couldn't play through the middle. They could not play through the middle. They couldn't get Haaland in the game. They couldn't get De Bruyne in the game. And ultimately, that comes down to 4 players. Shaw, Varane, Fred, Casemiro. They didn't have to do... You can have a brilliant game. Some people think to have a brilliant game as a midfielder or as a defender, you've got to be making last-ditch tackles, interceptions, blocks, clearances. You're wrong. Actually, that can sometimes be an indication that you're having a bad game because you're having to do those sort of things. Varane, Shaw, Fred, Casemiro today was superb because Man City did sod all through the middle. They couldn't get through the middle of our team. And that's because that block from the midfield to the defensive line was solid. And there was very few times where Casemiro, Fred, Shaw or Varane had to make last-ditch tackles because they were so well organised. They just couldn't play through us. On our best day, we can beat anyone, says Aman. Malacia was class. Fred was all over them. Very underappreciated. Haaland nowhere to be seen. Love you, Mark. From Jay, Harv, Sam and Ten Hag, not Ollie, says Jay. Thank you very much. I know it sounds funny, but Eric Ten Hag is my man of the match. Well, let's get into the player ratings because it digests the game a little bit more. Look, I'd probably give David De Gea a 7. He didn't really have anything to do, but I thought his distribution was fantastic. I thought his leadership from the back was good. And I want to be generous to every player because I don't want anybody to be left out in what is a very big, significant result, which shows real progress for the team. And I thought David De Gea's distribution was really, really good again. And I think that, we didn't have to rely on him too much, but, we will have to rely on him in future games. Wan-Bissaka, probably give him a 6.5. I agree with that. I'd love to give him a 7, but it was his fault on the goal. I don't know how you improve that. Defensively, he's very good. Foden got nothing out of him. Grealish didn't really get anything out of him. He was part of that defensive unit, the defensive line in the first half that was moving together. He was part of that. So he deserves a good mark, Wan-Bissaka, but he cannot seem to understand how to protect his back post. In the first half, Foden won a header on the back post. He just gets drawn in. In the last minute, the cross came into the back post from the other side, and I took a sharp intake of breath because I saw Haaland peel off, and Luke Shaw just headed it away. because he hadn't got sucked in. He knows how to defend his back post. Wan-Bissaka needs to work on that, but he's needed to work on it for years. It's always a weakness, and it cost us a goal today. But apart from that, I thought he played well. So glad seeing Malacia clattered into Mahrez and got him out of the game, says Sim. Think how good we could be with 3 or 4 upgrades, says Nasha. Wow, if this is the thing, isn't it? We'll talk about that in a minute. If the board backed this manager, we probably could be in a title race this season. You know, we just need a few more players. Just dusted off the rules. Last time I checked, the rules were needs to touch the ball or the opponent. Not now. Not now. It is up to the ref, says Amar. So good to have this feeling again. Missed it. Please give a shout out to the Pearson boys in Spain, says Super Dan. Big shout out to the whole fan base. I think everybody has been waiting for this. And I think we've seen United win games over the last few years. Mourinho's done it. Ollie's done it. Van Gaal's done it. But this feels different because it's coming after a really good run. Like, we've won so many games recently. It's different. I've seen Mourinho and Ollie go and beat Spurs and Man City back to back. One of them did it, and they're under pressure. And that's different because you're like, wow, you know, you're going to lose to West Brom now. This was more important because we've been on a good run. It is a big game, and you're like, this is a line in the sand. What can we do after a good run in a big game? And we've won it. So it's very different to anything else, and it's massively deserved by this fantastic fan base because we've waited so long to have genuine progress. Let's see where it takes us, but it is genuine. Great result today. Incredible what Erik ten Hag has done, says Groza. Mark, if we also beat Arsenal next, can we say we are the favourites for the title? No. Mark, please do call out all the prats at TalkSport who were slagging us off, said we would have no chance and we would crumble. Oh, I forgot. Rimbic. Oh, my God. Please tune in to TalkSport on YouTube tonight or on the radio at 7:30. The Mark Goldbridge show is back, 7:30 till 9 o'clock. I've completely forgot. I want City fans calling in about the offside. I can't wait. I forgot. Completely forgot. I'm on national radio for an hour and a half and I can just gloat about Man United. Bring it on. It's on YouTube and it's on radio. Fantastic. Thanks for reminding me. It's my birthday, Ryder. What a birthday treat. Happy birthday. I'm crying. My Baldy is better than your Baldy, noisy neighbours, says Sakin. Right, let's carry on with the player ratings. So, Varane for me was a 7.5. Again, you either understand football or you don't. It's not always about last-ditch tackles. The way that Luke Shaw and Varane ran that defensive line, shut down the middle of the park, silenced Erling Haaland. Not many teams will be able to say that they kept Erling Haaland quiet. I mean, he was in a pocket. You couldn't hear him. Absolutely brilliant. 7.5. Same for Luke Shaw, 7.5. It's not easy to do what they did today. Not easy to keep a team like Man City completely locked down centrally, and we did it. We've taken points from every top 6 team, says Oscar. Thank you very much. I thought they were brilliant. Both centre-backs were brilliant, and I would give Malacia a 7. I wouldn't put him up with Varane and Luke Shaw because I think they just completely locked that side down. But I thought Malacia had a really good game, and what I like about Malacia is that, I said it last week as well, I like the amount of game time Ten Hag's giving him because he's young, he's developmental, and every minute he gets in games like this will stand him in. He'll become more experienced. I think that the first season that Malacia is having at Man United is remarkable. Remarkable. He's had some bad games. He does make mistakes, but the development he is getting and the opportunities he is taking and being given by Ten Hag is magnificent. So I thought it was brilliant today. And I thought it was a potential weakness, to be honest. But no, he was brilliant. Have a pint on me, says Ivan. Thank you for the content. Means a lot to me as a foreign supporter to be part of the international community. Manchester is red. The fight that Man United gave after conceding shows the progress Ten Hag has made, to Chicano. And Ten Hag just said that Martial's substitution was because he complained about something at half-time. That's from Brish. I mean, today is not a day for negatives, but, you know, the only thing I'm going to say is this. When Rashford went down, I thought that's it. If you know, we've got no leeway at all. We haven't, have we? We've got no leeway at all. I mean, Sancho needs to be back and will be back, but we've got hardly any rotation at all. We could have a really big season, but we're going to need to not pick up any injuries. Malacia works so hard, says Sam. I love it. Let's move into the midfield then. Casemiro, 7.5. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. just runs the midfield, protects the back four. Wasn't really a game of attacking football from Casemiro today because that wasn't the plan, but did his job and did it superbly well. Fred gets a 7.5 for me as well. I thought his first half was better than his second half, but we all knew it, and Ten Hag knew it. And, you know, the manager must always be the Don. He must always be better than us, and I think we have that now. But for so many years, we'd spend the week before this derby saying, you know what, Eriksen can't play next to Casemiro. You need some physicality. And then Oli or Mourinho would pick Eriksen next to Casemiro. Many of us were talking about this all week. For this game, you've got to bring Fred in. And Ten Hag did it. Because he sees the things that we see and more. And it worked. I actually think if we'd played Eriksen in the midfield next to Casemiro, we would have lost. I think that selection, and that's nothing against Eriksen, but I actually think that selection was a massive reason why we didn't lose the game. Because I just don't think Eriksen's got the physicality or the tenacity to do what Fred can do. Eric the Red, he's exercised his squad, cohesive, confident team while allowing young stars a platform to shine with backing on the possibilities, says Kaifel. Welcome to Members Club, Tybalt. Also, amazing transformation today. Looked like a completely different team. Props to Eric and the boys, says Sebastian. Wish we added more players so we had the depth to compete in every trophy we're in. I've been hard on Martial, but we weren't the same without him, says Johnny. Apparently he's injured again. The world of Louis. Let's go, Mark. United, here we go. Mark, give my sons Lucas and Louis a shout out. Shout out to Lucas and Louis. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. I always knew Rashford was a baller. Says my best though. Eriksen, probably a 6.5. Eriksen. I'm going to be generous with everybody, but yeah, he wasn't massively in the game, was he, Eriksen? There were some nice little link-ups in the first half, but he faded in the second half. And you know what? It goes back to what we said before. Eriksen's been playing every bloody game since August. Eriksen's been to the World Cup. They are going to get tired. And it's how you manage that with the squad that he's got. Bruno, for me, is my man of the match. I'm going to give Bruno an 8. I think he was man of the match because he won us the match. The equaliser obviously got us back into the game, whether it's controversial or not. But moving into number 10, we were lost. We were beat. The heads were dropping and we were beat. He is the captain of that team as well. He moved to number 10, Eriksen came off, and suddenly everything opened up. And I think Bruno was fundamental to that. And I know people will say, well, Rashford was, but I mean, Rashford stood in the way. Rashford was offside and then didn't touch the ball. And then Rashford scored a tap in. He's a match winner, Marcus Rashford, but I think Bruno was the catalyst for the match winning opportunities to happen. So for me, I think Bruno was man of the match because I think we'd lost that game. And that substitution by Ten Hag and that movement from Bruno to 10 changed the game. Watch it back. It just changed the game. Martial coming off and Rashford having an injury changed the game at the start of the second half and we were in trouble. Moving Bruno to number 10 changed the game back again. There was 3 phases in that game. The first half was even Stevens. Second half, Martial came off injured. Rashford looked injured. Man City took control. Man City scored, Bruno moved to 10, we took control. There's 3 stages in that game, and that was the story of it. Rashford, 7.5 for me. I mean, in many ways, Rashford's just a match winner, and what a match winner he is. You know, people were getting on his back in the first half, saying he should have scored 2 goals. I don't think he should. I think there were difficult chances. He scored the goal that mattered, and he won us the game. Match winner. And if he'd have gone off injured and that had been a groin strain for 6 weeks, our season's over. It's the same with Casemiro. You lose one of those 2 players, it's over. And I'm just glad that he, for me, forget the goal. The goal was massively important. The fact that he came out for the second half and put a shift in for the team, that's what you want. And it was brilliant. Martial, I'll probably give him a 6. We missed him massively. I don't think he had a bad first half. The fact that he hasn't trained all week, the fact that he only trained yesterday, the fact that he felt something at half time, it's horrible to say this, but you can't rely on him. He's so important to the team, but you can't rely on him. And again, that result today, the way United work, they'll be chucking all the positive social media out. I would be going, God, we need to do something else in the transfer window. This season could be really special. They'll be taking that positive result as a reason not to do stuff. They should be taking it as a reason to do stuff. Because if The only thing that's going to make us not have a good season is not having enough players. That's the only reason we won't get top 4 if we don't get top 4. That's the only reason we won't be in a title race if we're not in a title race. That's the only reason we won't win the Europa League Cup if we don't win it, or the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. The only thing that's holding us back now is squad depth, rotation. And Ten Hag can't do anything about that if he's not given it. Anthony was probably a 6. I didn't really notice Anthony in that game. Doesn't mean he's a bad player, but I didn't really notice Anthony in that game. Put a shift in, but I didn't really notice him, if I'm honest. Garnacho, 7. Just came on. You know, the thing about Garnacho is sometimes he overruns it. Sometimes he gets a shot off. Sometimes he gets a match-winning and assist. But he always does something. And for a young player to do that is remarkable. He is what you want. Like, he's not perfect. He's development, but something always happens when he's on the pitch, and that's all you can ask for. Brilliant. We need to prioritise the striker in the summer. We can't rely on Martial, says Clayton. Pep said City have won many Premier Leagues and Carabao Cups. He doesn't care about those two. Okay, Abhishek. Ruben, welcome to the Members Club. It sounds like sour grapes. Let's go. I've done that one as well. Thank you very much. Make sure you smash on the like. We're very close to 10,000 likes. Lissandro Martinez, let's give him a 6. Let's give Maguire a 6. Let's give McTominay a 6. Don't really notice those. Let's give this guy a 9. Let's give this guy a 9. What a win, says Descendant. What a manager. I think you find out the strength of somebody when you're in adversity. If we lose that game 1-0, I know I'm sat here going, there's not a lot to take from that game because the performance wasn't that good. At 1-0, the performance was not that good. The game plan was to defend and keep a clean sheet and nick a goal. And if we'd lost 1-0, it didn't work. And there'd be a lot of question marks about what we've learnt. So he's in trouble. And he knows it. If I lose this game 1-0, they've had 70% possession at Old Trafford, and people are going to say, you conceded possession, you conceded a goal, where's the progress? So he's in trouble because the plan hasn't worked. And he could have approached the game in a different way. He could have pressed high up the pitch, he could have gone energetic, and we didn't. So it's 1-0 down. And he changes things, and we win the game 2-1. And that, for me, is high-tier coaching, because you've gone in with a plan, it's not worked, but you don't dwell on it, you make changes, and then that plan works. Because it's a 90-minute game. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong for 70 minutes. It doesn't matter if you get it right for 45 minutes, then it goes wrong for 15 minutes. If you get it right again in the next 20 minutes and you win the game, it's a game. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We won the game over 90 minutes. Ten Hag, you know, there was mistakes. There were things where it wasn't going right. But overall, he won the game of chess. And to me, over the last few weeks, the way he has rotated the team and kept winning when we've been playing every 3 or 4 days, I don't know how long he can keep doing it, but he's my man of the match, Roger. Yeah, I just can't give him man of the match. I don't know whether I can. There is a star there. I'm going to give it to man of the match. 26%. Well, I tell you what, that is the lowest. It's the first time a manager's been man of the match, and I didn't know he could be. I think he would have got it from a lot more people. But that is the lowest man of the match score we've ever had. But actually, let me just have a look into the back system here. So Bruno had 20%, Rashford had 18%, and then it selected others. Varane was quite high, Casemiro was quite high. So I think it's spread out because it's a team. It's a team performance. And you know what? In a game like that, it would be wrong if Bruno had 80% or Rashford had 80% because that was a team performance. It went through adversity. It had to work hard. Welcome to the Members Club, Jose. We had to work hard. You know, it went through adversity, like I said. We were 1-0 down. It was a team and manager display. And those are the most satisfying ones after the season that we've had. So I'm massively proud of what Manchester United have achieved today. It wasn't perfect. Many, very, very few games are perfect. But we deserved to win the game. I just want to see if we've got a quote from Pep Guardiola, actually, just to make us smile a little bit more. I'm sure we might have a quote from Pep Guardiola. Let me have a quick look here. So what's Pep had to say? Have we got any quotes from Pep, anybody? Let's have a look. Well, Ten Hag has said that we had to sub Martial. He had some complaints and the game changed. Exactly. He knows the importance of Martial. Pep Guardiola, congratulations to United. People understand how nice Manchester City is. It was a fantastic game. We controlled the transitions better. We had the right spirit. On the equaliser, Rashford is offside. Bruno is not. Rashford distracted our keeper and centre defenders. It is what it is. We know where we play. It's difficult for the referees in these stadiums. Bitter. But we were better, and you're bitter. Simple as that. We've got the fan forum. I'm going to push you over to the fan forum now. Don't forget, I'm on TalkSport at 7:30 tonight till 9 o'clock. We're live on YouTube, TalkSport, and it's a call-in. We're live on the radio. I won't be holding back. So if Man City fans want to phone in and say they were robbed, let's bring it on. I'm looking forward to it. Exciting day. Enjoy it. Get yourself on the fan forum. Let's blitz the chats with Ten Hag man of the match. I will speak to you over there.